Namaste, mama nama Andi. Kathamasi, Uštā mana nama Andi astī. Kathā. Hello, my name is Andi. How are you? Let's talk about the Vedic Sanskrit and Gathic Avestan. Gathic Avestan is the oldest attested form of Avestan and the archaic Old Iranian language of the Gathas. The 17 sacred hymns ascribed to the prophet Zarathustra's Pitama, more commonly known as Zoroaster, together with the Yasna Haptang Haiti and a few core prayers, all forming the liturgical heart of the Zoroastrian scripture, an Eastern Iranian language spoken somewhere in Central Asia or Eastern Greater Iran around very roughly 1200 to 1000 BCE. It was composed and transmitted orally with great fidelity for well over a millennium and written down only in the Sasanian era, from 5th to 6th century CE, in the purpose-made Avestan alphabet. Linguistically, it is strikingly archaic, preserving the full inherited case system, verbal moods, and ablaut. And it is marked off from its Indo-Aryan sister by the diagnostic Iranian sound shifts, from S to H, the aspiration of ba, dha, ga, to ba, da, ga, and pa, ta, ka, to fa, tha, kha before consonants. It sits in the family tree as Indo-European, Indo Iranian, Iranian, Old Avestan, and is famous for the Zoroastrian reversal by which Daiba, or God, became demon, and Ahura became the title of God. Vedic Sanskrit is the oldest attested form of Indo-Aryan and the sacred language of the Vedas, beginning with the Rigveda, the oldest text in any Indo-Aryan tongue, and continuing through the mantra, Brahmana, and Upanishadic strata before being codified by Panini into classical Sanskrit, spoken by the Indo-Aryan or Arya peoples of the northwestern subcontinent, the Punjab and Sapta Sindhu, reaching into eastern Afghanistan from roughly 1500 BCE onwards. It too was preserved orally with extraordinary precision through elaborate recitation systems, and committed to writing only much later. It retains a richly archaic grammar of 8 cases, 3 numbers, and a full array of moods such as subjunctive, optative, and injunctive, and is distinguished from Iranian by keeping inherited S and the voiced aspirates such as bha, dha, and gha. In the family tree, it is Indo-European, Indo-Iranian, Indo-Aryan, Old Indo-Aryan, Vedic Sanskrit. So close is it to Gathic Avestan, the two being near contemporary, nearly mutually intelligible snapshots of late Indo-Iranian, that a line of one can often be converted into the other almost mechanically by regular sound laws. Vedic Sanskrit and Gathic Avestan are the two oldest surviving descendants of Proto Indo Iranian, and they stand so close to one another that they are often described as little more than 2 dialects of a single parent tongue. Near contemporary snapshots, roughly the later 2nd millennium BCE, of a people who had only recently been one. Their grammars and core vocabulary correspond almost word for word, separated mainly by a handful of regular sound laws. The laws of the voiced aspirates, pa, ta, ka, to, fa, tha, kha, so that a line of the Rigveda can frequently be turned into plausible Avestan, or the reverse, almost mechanically. Most notably, this is evident in their common sacred expressions and in the inherited Deva Asura to Deva Ahura opposition, whose theological roles were reversed, as the liturgical languages of the 2 great religious traditions they transmit, the Vedic hymns of early Hinduism and the Gathas of Zoroaster. Each was preserved with extraordinary fidelity through centuries of oral recitation, and together they form the indispensable twin foundation of Indo-Iranian and wider Indo-European comparative linguistics. Each language helps reconstruct and illuminate the other, and through them, the deep prehistory of half a continent's languages, religion, and poetics. In the next part, let's listen to the beautiful sounds of their languages.
Aikas,
Aiwa,
Dva,
Dua,
Trajas,
Srayo,
Chaturi,
Chatvaro,
Pancha,
Pancha,
षष्
श्वाश
सप्त
हप्ता
अष्टौ
अष्टा
नव
नव
दश
दश
अहम्
अजम
आवाम्
आवा
वयं
वयम
तुवं
तुम
युवां
युवा
यूयं
युजम
तत्
तत्
ऐतत्
ऐतत्
सस् सा
हो हा
ऐषस् ऐषा
ऐशो ऐशा
तै तास्
तोय तो
अयम्
अयम
इदम्
इमत्
इमम्
इमम
अत्र इत्र
अथ्रा इथ्रा
इह
इदा
नु ईम् अध
नु
तदा आद् अथ
अदा
सर्वस् विश्वस्
विस्पो हावर्वो
पुरुष बाहुष
पौरु
महस्
मजो
दीर्घस्
दर्गो
पृथुष
प्रथुष
स्थूरस्
स्तूरो
गुरुष
गौरु
माता
माता
पिता
पिता
भ्राता
ब्राता
स्वसा
ख्वांहा
दुहिता
दुगदा
सूनुष
हुनुष
नपात्
नपात
दैवा
दाइवार
श्वश्रु
ख्वासरु
श्वशुरस्
ख्वासुरा
पतिष
पैतिश
पत्नी
पत्नी
शिरस्
सारो
कपालस्
कमरदा
मनस्
मनो
अक्षिष चक्षुष
आशी चश्मान
नासस्
नोंहा
कर्णस्
गौशो
औष्ठस्
औष्टा
दन्तस् जम्भस्
दंताम
जिह्वा
हिज्वा
अस्थिष
आस्त
हृत् हृदयस्
जिर्द
असृक् रुधिरस्
वहुनी
हस्तस्
जस्तो
पृष्ठस्
परष्टा
स्वेदस्
ख्वाइदा
जानुष
जानु जनु
पादस्
पादा
मांसस्
मसा
हरिष
जायरी
श्वेतस्
स्पाइतो
कृष्णस्
स्यावा
सुवर्णस्
जरनाइना
पीतस्
जायरिता
रुधिरस्
सुखरा
नीलस्
अक्षायना
दैवस्
डाइवो
असुरस्
अहुरो
अप्सरस्
अफसरा
मृतस् मर्त्यस्
मशिया मारता
अमृतस्
अमुशा
पृथिवी
जाम
भूमिष
भूमिश
द्याउष अश्मा
आसमान दियाउश
दिनम्
अजन
नक्तम्
खशप
अभ्रस् नभस् मैघस्
माएगा आवरा नाबो
अन्तरिक्षम्
श्वाशा
पर्वतस् गिरिष
कैरिश
समुद्रस्
zraya
वनम्
wana
वृक्षस् दारुष
dauru
अग्निष
atarsh
आपस् जलम्
ap afsh
मधुष
mazu
सौमस्
haumo
नदी
danu
सरस्
wairi
स्तारस्
staro
मास्
mo
सूर्यस् सुवर्
huara
वातस् वायुष
vato wayush
घर्मस्
garemo
हिमस्
zya
गृहस्
namana
द्वारस्
द्वार
धूमस्
duma
नाम
nama
रथस्
rasto
चक्रस्
chakra
नवस् नूतनस्
nawo
पुरस् पुरातनस्
paurwa
प्रियस् प्रिया
frio fria
प्रियतरस् प्रियतरा
friotaro friotara
प्रियतमस् प्रियतमा
Friotamo. Friotama.
Svadas.
Hwadu.
Svadiyas.
Hwadya.
Svadishthas.
Hwadishta.
Gaush.
Gaush.
Vrishabhas.
Ukshan.
Rishabhas.
Arshan.
Ashvas.
Aspo.
Babhrush.
Baura.
Shva.
Spa.
Hamsas.
Za.
Vrkas.
Urko.
Rkshas.
Arsho.
Avish.
Mailsha.
Ahish. Sarpas. Nagas.
Aji.
Pashush.
Pasush.
Manushyas.
Mashya.
Viras.
Viro.
Na.
Na.
पितानव्यवस्ति दिवि गीर्यैतनामतये
Pitanoyo asmanyasti. Gairiaeta namate.
राज्यं तया जिगीतात् यथा दिवि उत पृथिव्याम्
Kshatram tea jamiyat. Yathasmani. Utazami.
अन्नं नौइमै दिनैदैहिनस्
Kharatham no ahmi. Azani daidino.
उत मृडतात् अस्मान्नस्पापैभ्यो यथा वयं मृडामसि तान्यान अस्मासु पापं कृण्वन्ति
Utamrishdano ainobyo. Yatha vayam rishdamahi. Tayoino aino krinwainti.
अपि मानौ गमय लौभनं परं मुञ्चनस्पापैभ्यस्
Maano draugai baro. Atno drujat bunja. Atha astu.